Welcome into Game Night. I am Derek Forrest. It is a big day for the Washington Commanders because they have another wide receiver opposite Terry McLaurin now, and his name is Stefon Diggs. DC News Now, we were able to confirm that earlier in the day. We actually ran into Stefon Diggs, or at least Alex Flum ran into Stefon Diggs over at the University of Maryland earlier today, which was pretty cool. But he is the newest member of the Washington Commanders, and he brings 7 1,000-yard seasons with him in his career. Last year, he ended up with over 1,000 yards with the New England Patriots and 4 touchdowns. And he only took about 60% of the offensive snaps last year. So now Jaden Daniels gets another weapon on top of Stefon Diggs, obviously Terry McLaurin on the other side. We don't know what we're going to get out of Antonio Williams, the third-round pick out of Clemson, but he's showing some promise. Luke McCaffrey's looked good at training camp. We've got Rashad White coming out of the backfield catching passes for the Washington Commanders. Chig Okonkwo is a new tight end that they got as well. So now the offense is starting to take shape in terms of weapons for Jaden Daniels, and this could be a really good sign for the offense. Now the question will be whether or not the defense steps up for the Washington Commanders. And of course, speaking of that defense, our Tiger Mun was at training camp earlier today, and he takes a look at the defensive side of the ball.
Another day, another practice for the Washington Commanders, and if today wasn't football weather, I don't know what is. It was hot, it was muggy, and it was raining, but that didn't stop the team or the fans from coming out to Ashburn for another good practice. And days like today is usually when the defense shines. The offense has been taking most of the headlines in the offseason, but the defense, they didn't do too well last year and have completely revamped that entire unit. Durante Jones coming in as a defensive coordinator, implementing his style of defense, and so far, the players are loving it.
I just saw the way he used his linebackers, former Wisconsin guy Van Ginkel, for example. I really love just the way they work things, disguise guys, bring guys, showing a lot of different looks, and the way it frees up linebackers, and it's a linebacker-friendly defense, like I've always said, and that's what really pulled me in.
But the thing about this defense is, in any defense really, everything runs through the secondary, right? Like, we are the hub. Communication, the checks, the signals, everything. So, it's going to be a lot of fun this year. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot to look forward to, I'll say that.
And the Commanders won't be back out for practice Thursday. They're off that day, but Friday the team will be here as they go through another day of practice as we get closer and closer to that first preseason game of the year. Reporting in Ashburn, I'm Tiger Mun, DC News Now.
All right, thanks a lot, Tiger. And as we talk about that defense, they've got a new linebacker in Leo Chenal who should be able to help guys like Sonny Styles and Frankie Louvu, who's obviously a veteran on this roster as well. They picked up number 54, Leo Chenal, earlier in the offseason, and he's hoping to make an impact in that linebacker room for sure. And our Tiger Mun sat down with Leo earlier today.
All right, Commanders training camp here with Leo Chenal, and Leo, man, just talk to me about camp. How you feeling? How's things with this new Commanders team?
I'm really loving it. Especially you get some good, a little adverse weather, not too bad, but a little wet, little slick. I'm really loving it. My teammates, the system, the culture DQ brings, and then Durante from Minnesota. It's such a cool place to be.
You mentioned Durante and DQ. We'll get to them in a second. I want to ask you about your past destination, Kansas City. What really led you to come to the Commanders? What was really alluring that brought you to Washington?
Like I said, Coach Durante, coming from Minnesota, and I just saw the way he used his linebackers, former Wisconsin guy Van Ginkel, for example. I really love just the way they work things, disguise guys, bring guys, showing a lot of different looks, and the way it frees up linebackers, and it's a linebacker-friendly defense, like I've always said, and that's what really pulled me in. And then just asking people about DQ, because I never met him, obviously, and then everybody spoke such good things about him, and so it was just really cool.
You talked a little bit about Durante's defense. It's been described as aggressive, fast-paced. Would you describe it like that, and how much fun has it been?
It's been really fun, and it's definitely aggressive. It seems like almost every play, we're showing like we're all going or we're going, So like I said, it frees so many things up, and it opens up, the offense to start doubting things and questioning themselves, and it frees it up for linebackers.
Speaking of those linebackers, I saw you guys getting after in the one-on-ones against the running backs. Talk to me about the competition on this team, just those moments when you guys are just going at each other, but it's all friendly, all brotherhood.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing that Coach DQ brings is the competition that's something he stresses daily. Like, how are we going to compete? Starts in like team meetings. Like, we're doing something. We're playing Connect 4 the other day. As a competition, everybody's getting hyped up. And once you get pads on, things get a little more tense and serious. But you get a little scrappy, like in between the whistle. But at the end of the day, like after things are done, we're like, hey, good stuff, man, good stuff. So we all love each other, and it's just a great culture we have.
Yeah, you want that. Rather have that competitiveness. You rather have guys be mad that they lost the rep versus not be mad.
Right, exactly. Get the juices going. Like the emotions, we want them high. Just stay clean. That's it.
And talk to me about this linebacker group. You guys have a talented linebacker group. Luvu, guys got Sonny Styles coming in. Talk to me about the group.
Oh, it's crazy, man. You mentioned guys like Frankie, and he's a 9-year guy, so I'm taking a lot of notes from him, and he's all over the place in terms of get anywhere on the field, being here, being a leader for our team, vocally making plays, and then Sonny coming in here, it's definitely pushing me, both energy-wise and production-wise, like just the physicality of everything. Like everybody around me is bringing me up, special teams, like linebackers, all of us, we bring something to the table, and we're really good at a lot of things too.
And you mentioned a little bit about Durante, the defense. I want to talk about what you can possibly bring to the table. You're coming from Kansas City, a Spagnuolo defense, one of the best defenses in the league the past few years. What did you see in that team, and what do you see kind of similarly in that DNA in terms of like championship and the team's makeup?
Yeah, I mean, it starts with the leaders. It's always great to have coaches and stuff like that. Having a culture, but it starts with the guys on the team. Like, how are we acting? Like how are we presenting ourselves on the field? How are we carrying ourselves in the building day to day? I think we got some great leaders, all throughout defense, offense, special teams. So that's a huge factor. And, I think I can just bring, the energy like I've always done. I bring the energy, the physicality to it. My nature is that way. Having a lot of brothers, you kind of got to be that way. It's just doing my best, being able to play, scheme-wise, schematically, like on the line, off the ball, like rotate sometimes in the middle, like whatever it is, like I'm going to be there, do what coach asked me to do.
All right. Down in Baltimore, up in Baltimore, if you will, the Ravens, they have re-signed their wide receiver in Zay Flowers. That ended up happening yesterday. He signed a 4-year extension worth $140 million. I think he's 108 of it is guaranteed. But he was able to speak to the media today, and he talked about just what it means to him that the organization showed so much confidence in re-signing him.
I'd like to thank my family for always having my back and being there for me through everything we've been through, and my friends, and everybody in this organization, EDC, Nick, Mr. Bashadi, for believing me and giving me a shot, and taking a chance on me for somebody from Boston College. I know there's not a lot of people at receiver or like skill positions that really come out of there, so I really appreciate them, and this just shows me how much they believe in me and just give me another boost to keep going. So. And I love to thank Flock Nation for being my biggest fans. Even when things got rough, y'all still had my back no matter what happened. So I appreciate Baltimore. Thank you.
All right, coming up on the show, we're going to check in with Danny Rie. We're going to get his thoughts on what he's seen so far at Commanders training camp. That's coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest. Earlier today, I caught up with Danny Rie from Grant and Danny over on 106.7 The Fan. But last week, Danny was on vacation the entire week. And before he left, he told me it wasn't really football season until he got back from his vacation. He always takes it around this time of year every summer. So when I talked to him today, I asked him, does it feel like it's football season?
Football's here. You get the camp injuries. You get, I don't mean to smile through those. They stink, and guys are being lost left and right. Washington's dealt with its own sort of minor rash of injuries. You hope that guys like Bates and Allegretti are okay and back in short order, as they're pretty important to this team's endeavors. But it now feels to me like football's here. Training camp was underway. Hall of Fame game is right around the corner, and fantasy drafts will be starting up very soon. So yes, indeed, it does feel like football.
Yeah, you mentioned a Hall of Fame game really quickly, just to pivot. Will you be watching tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll tune in for a second just to get the taste, and then I quickly remember why I usually don't watch very much of it. It's just usually so vanilla, so horrendous. It's more ceremony than it is substance, and that's okay. These teams have so long to go on such a marathon, such a grind for a full season, and it's not as if it's respectfully the sexiest matchup in human history. But yeah, it'll be football on television, so my fat butt will be on the couch watching it.
I was out there at practice, saw your counterpart Grant out there today, but they were back in pads in front of season ticket holders. Just from everything that you're hearing out at camp and some of the things you're seeing, what have you liked and what haven't you liked?
Well, I like that there's at least on the surface a different paradigm because even though they went 12-5 and went to the NFC title game a couple years ago, they didn't get off to a tremendous start. They weren't really hitting the ground running. It was a sort of slow build, and you can't afford to do that in this league that's so cutthroat and so tight. Now, I understand that you don't want to risk injury, but when the second day of camp hit last year, they were given vet days off, and my alarm bells went off saying, "Oh no! If it's that big of a problem for vets to be able to go through a week of practices without needing a day off, then you got the wrong vets." And it's sort of emblematic of how soft a training camp was, and it's kind of been Club Quinn here for a couple of years. Again, worked well one year, to put that in quotes, didn't work at all the following year, where guys just simply were not ready to play. It seemed like so. I like that there's a paradigm shift, even if they won't say that there is. I'm hoping, you touch a hot pot a couple of times, and you go, I probably shouldn't do that. And I'm hoping that that is the direct result of, hey, we need a new approach because our schedule, especially at the top, is a bear. We cannot afford to start off in the toilet like I think a lot of pundits expect them to. So that's my favorite part so far is the competition level. It's a little bit less. Hey man, we're just gonna do some yoga, stretch a little bit, and do some walkthroughs. It feels like there's some getting ready for football. Now, the unfortunate corollary there is that oftentimes will lead to more injuries, and that stinks. That's not something that anybody's excited about, but it to me is reflective of a need to kind of ratchet up the intensity level a bit.
One more for you, because obviously this happened while you were gone, but everything that the Nationals were able to do at the trade deadline, obviously Griffin Foster is no longer here, Luis Garcia Jr., Curtis Mead, but they got a bunch of pitching back. Just your takeaway on what they did at the trade deadline.
Yeah, so the only return that isn't that exciting is Foster Griffin. You kind of understand that. Paul Taboni has said that they did offer him an extension, didn't want to do the he said, she said thing in terms of going some of the terms and trying to make someone look like the bad guy. Everybody was well within their rights from Griffin's camp perspective. I haven't heard anything about this specifically, but I understand you got one chance to cash in rather, as a guy that's 30 years old and may never have that moment of free agency again. It seemed like that was the priority there. So maybe they bid on him in the offseason, although I would certainly doubt it, given this group's propensity not to spend any money. So if he's not going to sign here and you're not going anywhere, you got an asset. But that return, without kind of a blue chipper, they went quantity over quality. Certainly that one kind of stings a little bit more than some of the others. For Garcia, for Curtis Mead. I mean, these are two guys. Mead wasn't on the opening day roster. Garcia was somebody that we thought was in danger of being non-tendered in the offseason, that had been sent down previously, that had frank conversations with the org about his weight, about his work habits, about a lot of things that left a lot to be desired. And he had his breakout year this year with this coaching staff, with this group of development, and they sold him at an all-time high. I mean, you're selling the stock at its all-time apex. Now, the downside might be if this continues and he still is this for the rest of the season, it helps the Yankees deep into the postseason. They have another year of control of him, but that move made a lot of sense to me, as did, kind of the no-brainer of taking Curtis Mead, someone that was on 30-homer pace had he started the entire year, but he was a part-time player for the first, 5 weeks of the season. Et cetera. A guy that had provided a lot of right-handed protection for Abrams and for James Wood and company, been a steadying force, played a perfectly adequate, even a good third base at times. But you sell at a profit on that one every single time for a pitcher that's got a mid to upper rotation capability in Connolly Early, a guy that I think is going to be and is under team control for a while, but a guy that I think and they think Taboni's familiar with him, of course, from his time in Boston, is going to be pretty special. So that's a move you make 10 times out of 10, especially for one that's as devoid, this organization is, as devoid of high-end pitching talent as they happen to be.
All right, coming up on the show, we're going to check in on the Maryland Terrapins football team. Their season starts in a month as they take on Hampton. We're going to hear from head coach Mike Loxley coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest. The college football season is right around the corner. The Maryland Terrapins are going to get started on September 5th as they are hosting Hampton for their first game of the 2026 season. And today was media day for the Terps over at College Park, and head coach Mike Loxley The last 2 seasons have not been kind, 4-8 seasons in back-to-back years. Last year, they won the first 4 games, and then they lost the last 8 and only had 1 win in the conference. That was versus Wisconsin in the first month of the season. But Alex Flum, you sat down with Mike Locksley and talked about the upcoming season and maybe some pressure for Locksley as the head man going into the year.
I heard you talking at Big Ten Media Day about how you feel like you're meant to be here leading this program. I know you grew up, rooting for this team. You've poured your heart and soul into this program for so many years. So my question with that is when you have, back-to-back tough seasons, right? Like, how does that, make you feel pressure of, potentially not having the opportunity to lead the program that you've loved for so many years?
That's a great question, and everybody likes to ask it. But here's the great thing about I have a strong contract. I have a contract that if they decide they don't want me here, it can happen. But I'm protected. At the end of the day, I've seen coaches that have had $48 million deals be let go. And that's the landscape we're in. And as coaches, we sign up understanding that's where we are. The real pressure for me is when you have a millionaire on your team and he doesn't get drafted, and now he goes from being a millionaire to not making any money. That's the pressure I have, because these kids, I sit on their couch, they become family for me. They're kids that I love, and the reason I do what I do is because of them. That's what the pressure is for me, is how do I prepare them for when that football lights go off and they have to take care of their families. And that's way more pressure than worrying about whether I'm going to have a job or not, because my contract protects me there.
And I know this was, I think, the record-breaking fundraising year for the Terps. So when you have that, and you got all the talent you have in your Malik and Zion coming in, and the pair of Zamir Mathis and Sidney Stewart, I mean, and 71% coming back?
Yeah.
So just to have all that and the resources, do you feel like this is a year where this team can take that big leap forward, maybe not even just get back to how you were the 3 straight bowl games, but get even further than that?
I'm quietly confident in this team, which is why there is no pressure for me, because this team, every day I get to work with them. I know the ins and outs. I am on the front line of it. I'm not one of those head coaches that's not involved in all aspects of the program. The fact that we were given and allowed to have the resources to bring 71% of our production back, whereas, the last few years we've lost some great players, like Roman Hemby going to Indiana, and, our guy that went to LSU. We've lost a bunch of players that have left, but we also have had some guys that have boomeranged back, which tells me that we're doing something right. When Preston Howard goes to Auburn and decides, hey, you know what, I want to come back to Maryland. When LaVon Johnson goes to Texas and says, you know what, I want to come back to Maryland. And it wasn't because of playing time, because they both had opportunities to play at those levels and at those places. I think it speaks volume to the culture that we have here.
The Big Ten, for a lot of years, everybody was SEC. Now we're hearing more Big Ten. Indiana just won the championship. They went from a bottom seller program to national champions. So when you see that happen, I know how much you want to do that here. So how much does that fuel you, seeing another team in the Big Ten that has struggled do it and know that you guys have the resources? How much does that fuel you to even more to make that happen in College Park?
Well, it goes back to the success leaves clues, and Kurt Cignetti's from the same family of football that I finished in. He spent time down in Tuscaloosa. He learned the system. He talks about Nick Saban the same way I do. Mario down at Miami, Sark at Texas, Lane at LSU. We all are from the same family. I think the difference for me is the fact that now I have some of the same type of resources, whereas in the past I don't know if there was an appetite to support football the way that it needs to be supported, but this landscape has forced it to happen, as we've seen what a good football team is able to do for every sport on campus when it is successful.
All right, coming up on the show, we're going to check in on the Lethal Shooter Showcase, which took place Saturday over at Alexandria High School. That's coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest, earlier this week on Saturday, Chris, a.k.a. Lethal Shooter Matthews, was over at Alexandria High School for his 5th annual Lethal Shooter Showcase. Some of the top men and women, or boys and girls at the high school level, were taking part in a showcase and a couple of tournament games over there. And I got the luxury of being able to talk with Lethal Shooter and to check out some of the action. So here's some of the sights and sounds from the Lethal Shooter Showcase.
Get it. Energy, guys. Energy, guys. It is everything. Energy is everything. Go get it. Let's go. We in it.
It's always a good experience to even just come around with my peers, other great players from around the area. It's always a good time to play with them.
Oh, put him down, yeah. Hey, the first time, respectfully, that I've seen you play like this the whole time. And then when you start playing good, what you start be doing? I'm gonna shoot a 3. I'm gonna shoot a 1-leg shot. I'm gonna shoot some. No.
I shot 1-leg shot.
You can shoot some wild shit when you start playing good. I need you to be like that the whole time.
Y'all get it back. Y'all can get it back. Let's go.
It's a lot of exposure and it's a lot of media here, and it gives me a chance to really prove myself.
Good. Look. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Good job. My life is always going to be devoted to the DMV. It doesn't matter what I'm doing around the world or doing with my brand. The DMV made me the man I am today. So why would I build this big, massive basketball brand and not come back to the place that made me who I am and pour into the youth? I'm proud of you, man. You look good, bro. I'll bust your ass, but you look good. Hey, we didn't stop. Rebound. Two hands. Got it. Block party. Yep. Block party. Good job, Majok.
Shot, Marlon.
That's good. That's good. Good shot. Let's get a stop.
One stop, White.
Hey, look at the time and the score. Yeah, look at the time and the score right now. I want every single kid when they go home to say, Lethal Shooter cares. Lethal Shooter just didn't come into town, just have a camp and just leave. Lethal Shooter took the time to tell me, oh, he saw when I went left, I can't do this. When I went right, I can't do. Oh, when I was on the bench, I had bad demeanor. I love how you was getting to the rim. I love your defense, but sometimes when you get comfortable, you just start shooting wild. When you're not doing that, you look really good. When I missed the shot, I put my head down, and that's what God put me on earth to do, is to help others. So I want every single person to know that when they leave today, that Lethal Shooter cares for them. On 3, bring it in tight. Lethal Shooter family. 1, 2, 3. Lethal Shooter family.
All right, good stuff over there at Alexandria City High School over the weekend with Lethal Shooter. But that is going to do it for another edition of Game Night. Have a good night.